Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching Georgia Beer Reviews. Back at you today with another one, and I am very excited about this one, guys. We've got the Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA, which I've had many times over the years. But this one is aged in Utopias barrels. The Imperial IPA. Usually the cap on top here just indicates drink with care, high alcohol, and there's not any specifics, but this one does specify. On the bottom of the label there it says 17% alcohol by volume. So, we'll read the description here. It's pretty short. It says, what you have here is a very special version of our 120-minute IPA. This beer was continually hopped over the entire boil, then aged for a year in freshly emptied Utopias barrels. Enjoy now or age for a decade or so. I believe this beer is 2023. This is a new release. But I don't see anything on the label. There's a code. Looks like either D0 or DO773080511. So I don't know what the date is on this one. I did have this, interestingly enough, a couple of weeks ago. Mr. Bumpy Road Brews brought over a bottle and we reviewed it together on his channel. Mind you, we were a few deep at the time of the review, so it'll be nice to do a solo review, kind of, first beer of the day type of situation, so I can really break it down for you guys to the best of my ability. Anyway, I love the regular 120-minute IPA, especially aged versions of it, because it's one of those things that as it ages, it just becomes this really incredible barley wine type of an ale. So this one being aged for a year in Utopias barrels, which, if any of you guys don't know what Utopias barrels are, Sam Adams Utopias are the top-end beers that they make that are very exclusive, limited release, between like 20 and 30% ABV beers. So they're really more like beer liqueurs in a way, like just sippers. So this beer is aged in those barrels that they make the Utopias in. So anyway, enough blabbing. Let's open this and pour it up. And already you can see that the color is much darker than the standard 120-minute IPA. I say much darker. It's darker. It's maybe not that much darker, but you go from like maybe a deep golden color with the standard to this one is more of a copper or amber color. And it is clear. You can see right through it. Some nice streaming bubbles going up the glass. Didn't pour with much of a head. 17% alcohol. So any head is appreciated when it gets that high. Ooh. Caramel. Toffee. It's really rich. Toffee more than caramel. I'd like to know more about these Utopias barrels, but it's got, on the aroma, I'm really getting like a bourbon barrel-aged type of note. So like oak. I'm assuming the Utopias barrels are oak barrels. So you get a woody note, you get that rich toffee. Really no hops to speak of. It's very malt forward, some like toasted bread. There's almost a little bit of a wine note with this one. like a red wine barrel. I've had stouts and porters and a lot of beers that have been aged in various wine barrels, and this has a little bit of that as well. I'll tell you one thing, it's very complex, it's very malt forward and sweet on the aroma with that woody note. Really no hops. It's they talk about the 120-minute process and the boil and the hopping and all of that, which I have experienced a very hoppy version of the 120-minute IPA, which was one that I had last year, and it was just a super fresh date on the beer. But most of the 120-minute IPAs that I've had are very little like an IPA and more like a barley wine. And this one is definitely, on the aroma, it definitely smells like a strong ale, barley wine type of beer. Just rich and malty. I'm really not getting any hop characteristics on the aroma. It smells absolutely incredible, though. I am salivating. So without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers. Oh. And then on the palate, dark fruit right up front. Raisin, fig, and date. All of it. It's all there. Oh, dark fruit central right here. Beautiful dark fruit notes. That toffee is still there. Rich brown bread in the middle of the sip. That woodsy, oaky, barrel aged type of feel is in there. A little bit of that like red wine type quality is kind of there in the middle of the sip as well. The body with this is really medium. It's not thick and viscous and really heavy. It drinks very smooth and easy for a 17% beer. I can't believe it's that high, 17%. I've had 10, 11% beers that drink twice as high alcohol as this. It's super boozy. This one is a little boozy. I mean, let's not get it twisted, right? 17%. You're definitely getting a little bit of that booze effect, but it's not. It's from the barrel aging, and it's just from like the complexity of this beer. You can just tell that it's higher alcohol, but it's not hard to drink at all for a 17% beer. I mean, you really could just sip on this very quickly and get it down fast because it's so enjoyable and you want to just keep sipping on it because it's delightful. Mm. The dark fruit really impressed me on the palate because I wasn't picking it up on the aroma, but the date, the fig, little plum, raisin, all of that, it's definitely there. And along with the toffee and the bready notes, this is just a really delightful beer. It's outstanding. It's the best 120-minute IPA I've ever had, I can tell you that. I'm already going on 9 minutes here with the review. Try not to go much longer here. A little bit of carbonation, which for a 17% beer, you wouldn't necessarily expect much, but I would say, light to low medium carbonation. It does have a nice little prickly carbonation to it. The finish is drying, slightly boozy, but for 17, it definitely doesn't drink as high as 17%. That's for sure. I would say between 10 and 12%. Along the lines of like your Founders Barrel Age series, or even like some of the bourbon counties. It's right there in that window as far as drinkability and what you can expect with the boozy qualities of the beer. It is dry and going down, like I mentioned before. Very well-rounded, super complex, enjoyable beer. The best version of 120-minute right here. You can't go wrong with this. The only thing that's really lacking is hop character, but I'm not disappointed in that. I think that this beer is exactly how it should be. And this is one that if you age it for, it says a decade or so, this is only going to get better with age. This is a relatively fresh bottle, at least to the best of my knowledge. Um, this is outstanding. This is a 98 for me, 98 out of 100, which falls into the world-class range. I really, really am enjoying this beer. And if you like, I mean, even if you don't like IPAs, I think you're going to love this beer. If you like barley wines, if you like stouts, if you like barrel-aged anything, I think that you're going to love this beer. If you're looking for an IPA and you want like a really hop-forward type of presentation with a 17% Imperial IPA, then you may be a little bit disappointed with this one because it doesn't have a lot of hop character, but I don't think that's ever really what they were going for with this one, or the standard 120-minute lineup, because anything after a couple of months, it starts turning into a more malt-forward barley wine type of drinking experience. So that being said, we're going to wrap up this review. 98 out of 100 for the Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA Utopias barrel-aged version at 17% ABV. Buy it, try it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. That'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Until next time, everybody. Cheers.